Welcome all of you. I am Amit Kumar Das, Assistant Professor of JIS College of Engineering. Uh, in this semester, I will introduce a new course on structural dynamics. So this is my first lecture on structural dynamics. Today, we will see the introduction part of the structural dynamics. So before going details to the subject, first we must have a clear concept what is dynamics. The word dynamics simply means which changes with time. That means it is time varying. Any kind of load, actually in civil engineering structure or any kind of civil engineering structure, the loads are two types, which are changes with time and the loads which are not changes with time. The loads, when the loads are not changes with respect to time, that types of problem is known as static case, and when the loads are changing with respect to time, that type of problem is dynamic problem. So first of all, we will try to understand the basic difference between the static and dynamic loading. So let us consider a simply supported beam where a point load or concentrated load is acting on the beam. So what will happen? We know that in any kind of structure, see the load, here the load is not a function of time, but in the dynamic case you will see that the load which is acting in the beam is function of time. That means the load is time varying. As per example, you can consider that the earthquake load or wind load, when the earthquake came, in the what will happen, the magnitude of the earthquake force is changing with instant with time. That means it will time varying. After some instant, the magnitude of the load will be changing and it keep changing. That means the load is a function of time. So this is the behavior of dynamic load. But here in case of static load, the load P is not time dependent. So it is not changes with respect to time. Say as per example, if 50 kilonewton point load is acted in a beam, then it will after 10 years or 100 years, the loads will not change. Okay, it is not time varying. So we know how to solve a static problem. Okay, say any kind of structure, when we try to solve any static problem, what will happen? First we will try to solve it by using equilibrium equation. So what are the equilibrium equation? We know that there are three equilibrium equation, that summation of horizontal force is equal to 0, summation of vertical force is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. So why? The cases is when any static load is applied in any structure, so then there will be no movement of structure. Consider a building. Okay, in a building different kind of dead load and live loads are acting in the building, but the buildings are still not moving. They are stand in one place. That means there is no horizontal movement. So summation of horizontal force, when the summation of horizontal force is 0, then only it will be possible when the summation of horizontal force is 0. Otherwise the building will move. If there is some magnitude of summation of horizontal force, then the building will move. So you can say that the summation of horizontal force is 0. Similarly, in the second case, we will the second equilibrium equation is summation of vertical force is equal to 0. Let us again consider the building. The building is not moving upward or downward. That means the summation of vertical force is equal to 0. That is second equilibrium equation. And the third equilibrium equation is summation of moment is equal to 0. Now we all know that the definition of moment is when any kind of force is applied in any structure, then the magnitude of the force into the perpendicular distance is known as moment. As per example, let us take this mobile phone. Okay, if any kind of force is acting in this mobile phone, then if we try to find out the moment at this point, then this force into this perpendicular distance is moment, and it will, if this point is fixed, it will try to rotate the structure. So moment is one kind of rotation. So in any structure, static problem, we see that the moment is 0. Summation of moment is 0. The summation of moment is 0. Otherwise, the building will rotate. Okay. So I hope you understand that why we use three equilibrium equations. Summation of horizontal force is equal to 0. Summation of vertical force is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. Okay. That is the main reason to using that type of equilibrium equation in static case. Now in static problem, however, whenever someone asks you to find out the response due to static loading, we will try to find out the displacement only, because the displacement is constant here. Now again we will talk about the dynamic problem. So here, as per our common experiences, we have seen till now that when earthquake came, then the any kind of structure will try to vibrate or try to move with some acceleration or some there will be displacement, velocity and acceleration. Okay, because whenever earthquake came, the building will shake and try to move upward and downward, and there will be some horizontally displacement or some little amount of velocity and accelerations in dynamic problem. But in static case, the responses are only displacement. Okay, so as per example, we know that why in static case the response is only displacement, but why in the dynamic loading the responses are displacement, velocity and acceleration. So to find out this result, again we have to come to the basic. Okay, the basic is, so what is displacement? In static case, whenever we try to find out the displacement is a constant term in a static case. So now if we try to move forward and try to find out the magnitude of velocity, so what is the definition of velocity? Velocity is nothing but rate of change of displacement with respect to time. As the displacement is a constant term here, so the rate of change of displacement or derivative of displacement with respect to time will be 0, because the derivative of a constant is 0. As the displacement is 0, so the acceleration is also 0. So but in the dynamic problem, the displacement is not a constant term here, because due to time varying load. Okay, so as the displacement is not a constant term, so there will be a magnitude of velocity and as well as magnitude of acceleration. Okay, now we will move forward to the next slide. So most common causes dynamic effect in the structure. So the common causes of dynamic effect in the structure. So there will be three types of cases. First will let us take the initial condition cases. So in initial conditions such as velocity and displacement produce dynamic effect in the system. As per example, let us consider a lift. A lift is moving upward or downward with an initial velocity. So you know, when someone try to move from ground story to ground floor to fourth floor, then there will be an upward movement, and when someone move to the from fourth floor to ground floor, there will be downward movement. So if in this when a lifting move up or down with an initial velocity and suddenly stop, then what will happen? The cabin began to vibrate up and down since it possesses initial velocity. So the dynamic effect, we know that dynamic effect of a structure is nothing but the vibration. So the how the vibration induced in any structure, if we apply any type of initial condition, then it will vibrate. So as per example, this is the example of we can take the example of lift. A lift is moving upward or downward direction. When the lift is suddenly stopped, the cabin began to vibrate up and down since it possesses initial velocity. Then I hope you understand the initial conditions case. Let us we will start the second topic, applied force. So the second topic is, sometimes vibration in the system is produced due to application of external force. So now consider the second case. The vibration may be produced by introducing induce some initial condition to the structure. The example of lift is one of the structure. Second, if we consider that any kind of external force, okay, let us consider wind force or bomb blast in a building. Okay, then if a bomb blast in a building, then the building will vibrate. Or let us consider another case, wind force. A few days back, one cyclone hit in West Bengal. So in that case also, the building will try to vibrate. The doors and windows are try to vibrate due to the high magnitude of wind forces. So when the sometimes of vibration in the system is produced due to the application of external force. So here the system is vibrate due to the application of external force. Another example is machine foundation. Now last one is support motion. Okay, so structure are often subjected to vibration due to the influence of support motion. So support motion, so any structure is supported in the ground, so due to the support motion the structure can vibrate. So the best example of it is earthquake motion. When earthquake came, due to the changing or dynamic behavior of earthquake forces or earthquake, due to the dynamic behavior of earthquake, the ground shakes and the structure will experience vibration. So these are the three conditions. First one is initial condition, where we just applying some initial velocity or displacement which will produce dynamic effect in the system. Second one is application of external force. As per example, consider the wind force or bomb blast. And last one is the vibration due to the support motion. Okay. Now basic concept of structural dynamics. They are vibrations and oscillations. If motion of the structure is oscillating or reciprocatory along with the deformation of the structure, it is termed as vibration. In case there is no deformation, which implies only rigid body motion, it is termed as oscillation. So let us consider the case if motion of the structure is oscillating along with the vibration. As per example, we can consider pendulum. The motion of the structure is oscillating there. Okay, or reciprocatory along with the deformation of the structure. So then we will term this as vibration. In case there is no deformation, which implies only rigid body motion, it is termed as oscillation. But when there is in vibration, there will be deformation. But when only the rigid body motion but no deformation, then this is called oscillation. That is the basic differentiation in vibration and oscillation. In other word, we can say that in vibration there will be deformation also, and but in case of oscillation there will be no deformation. Now there are two types of vibration is there. One is free vibration and one is force vibration. So free vibration is vibration of a system which is initiated by a force which is subsequently withdrawn. Hence this vibration occurs without the external force. So actually when in other words, in simply we can say that when we just try to initiate the vibration by the application of external force, but during the entire process of vibration the external forces are absent. We just use the external force to initiate the vibration, but during the entire procedure of vibration the external force is absent. That is known as free vibration. As per example, consider any kind of door. Okay, if we consider any kind of door and apply external force in the door, then what will happen? If we try to close the door with some magnitude of force, then the door will vibrate after some extent. Okay, that kind of vibration is known as free vibration. Okay, or in other way, not only the force, we can apply just some time of velocity or some kind of initial displacement to the structure. In the previous example, we see that the example of lift which are moving upward and downward direction but suddenly stop. So that type of example is example of free vibration. Then we will move towards the second, which is forced vibration. If the external force is also involved during the vibration, then it is called forced vibration. So when the external forces are present during the entire process of vibration, that is called forced vibration. As per example, we can consider earthquake. During the entire earthquake duration, the earthquake force is present there. That type of vibration is forced vibration. Now one important term which is related with structural dynamics is damping. Okay, most important part. So all real life structure when subjected to vibration resist it. So from our common sense or common experience, we can see that whenever as per in the last example, we see that we apply some kind of force in a door, some magnitude of force in door, and the door will vibrate. But will it long last for infinite time? The answer will be definitely no, because after some extent of time the vibration of door will stop, or the vibration the door will resist the vibration. So due to that property of resisting property is due to damping. So due to this the amplitude of the vibration gradually reduce with respect to time. In case of free vibration, the motion is damped out eventually. Damping force depend on a number of factors and it is very difficult to quantify them. So damping force, what is damping force? The damping force will try to resist the vibration. In case of free vibration motion, so it is damped out. Any kind of free vibration is damped out eventually. That property is known as damping. Okay, the commonly used representation is viscous damping, wherein damping force is expressed as Fd is equal to C into x dot, where x dot is nothing but the velocity. So how the x dot came? So x dot is nothing but the rate of change of displacement with respect to time. That means du by dx by if x is equal to our displacement, then dx by dt is nothing but our velocity. That means rate of change of displacement is known as our velocity, which is in short term dx by dt, we can write in x dot. Okay, and c is our damping constant. Now we will see what is dynamic degree of freedom. Dynamic degree of freedom. First of all, what is dynamic degree of freedom? Degree of freedom, in short, we can call it as DOF, where D stand degree and F stand freedom, is the dynamic degree of freedom. So the number of independent coordinate which are necessary to represent the positions of the displaced position of mass is known as dynamic degree of freedom. That means, say, let us consider this is a structure or this is a building. This is our ground. Okay, this is a building here. When earthquake came, the building there will be movement in the horizontal direction. In this horizontal direction, okay, the vibration induced the movement in the horizontal direction. Then what will happen? So there will be continuous displacement of the structure in horizontal direction. So the number of independent coordinate which will represent the displaced position of the mass is known as our dynamic degree of freedom. Again, I repeat, the number of independent coordinate which are necessary to represent the displaced position of the mass is known as dynamic degree of freedom. Now there are three types of dynamic degree of freedom. One is single degree of freedom system, second is multiple degree of freedom system, and last one is continuous system. So in the next slide we'll try to understand what is single degree of freedom, multiple degree of freedom, and continuous system. Okay. So in single degree of freedom we see that if a single coordinate is just sufficient to define the position of the mass of the system at any instant of time, is called single degree of freedom system. It is very easy. When only one single coordinate is just enough to define the position or geometry of the mass of the system at any instant of time, is called single one degree of freedom system. And when if more than one independent coordinate is required to complete specify the position or geometry of different masses of the system at any instant of time, is called multiple degree of freedom. When just only one coordinate is just enough to represent the position of the mass, is single. When more than one coordinate is needed to represent the position of different masses of the system at any instant of time, it is multiple. And when infinite number of degree of freedom is infinite number of if the mass of a system is considered that it is distributed over the entire length of the system, then infinite number of coordinate will be needed. Then that means if infinite number of coordinate of needed, then the degree of freedom will be infinite. So that type of cases is known as continuous system. So here the concept of lump mass and distributed mass is come. Lump mass means when the mass is concentrated, okay, at one point, then it is called as lump mass. And when the mass is concentrated distributed over the whole length, then it is known as distributed mass. Okay, so we will in near future we will see all the things in detail. For time being, just know these things, what is single degree of freedom and multiple degree of freedom. Now we will see the example of single degree of freedom system. Let us consider this is one type of a structure. So in the another example we will represent it is as a vertical cantilever beam. Okay, this is we consider that the mass is concentrated here, lump mass. So when the dynamic force effect, it will displace, this is the displaced shape of the structure. Okay, so only single coordinate is needed to represent this. This is the displacement. Only single coordinate is needed to represent this structure. So this is known as our single degree of freedom. In spring mass system, we can represent it by this way. This is our spring whose stiffness is K and the mass is here, and the displaced shape will be in this direction. This is our displacement. Okay, displacement of mass. So in the next slide, we will move to the multiple degree of freedom multiple degree of freedom system example of. So here we can consider that a two, or we can say that this is the representation of two-story building, ground story and first story. Okay, so in spring mass system it will represent by this one. It is the spring, the stiffness of string is represented by K1, and the mass of the element is M1. The spring stiffness of spring 2 is K2, and the stiffness of the mass of the first floor is M2. So the displaced position will be in x1 and x2. So 2 coordinate is just enough to represent the two-story building or two-story building. So it is a 2 degree of freedom system. So when more than 1 degree of freedom or more than one coordinate is enough, more than one coordinate is needed to represent the displaced position of mass, then this is known as multiple degree of freedom system. So as per example, we can see that if more than one independent coordinate is required to completely specify the position or geometry of different masses of the system at any instant of time, is called multiple degree of freedom system. So as per example, we can consider 2-story building or 3-story building. Okay, so last one is continuous system. So here you can see that here the mass is distributed over the whole length. So when the dynamic forces, due to the application of dynamic forces, this is the displaced shape. So the independent coordinate needed to represent the displaced position of mass is how much? Infinite. That is, this is known as continuous system. Okay, thank you. If you have any doubt regarding anything, you can send me an mail to this mail ID. I will try to solve your problem if you have any doubt. Thank you.